Hello, Dr. David Lucas here, and we're in a research project known as Guardian at the Gates. We're looking at the temple traditions in Thailand. This imposing figure behind me is affectionately known here in Thailand as a yak. They have other names in other cultures, but this unique Guardian at the Gate stands as a sentinel to protect the temple. And what we're doing is looking at this as a cultural symbol. And in fact, we picked up on Kenneth Burke's idea of symbolic action, in that this yak does more than just protect the temple, but it actually states much about the culture of Thailand. If you look at Peter Berger, he says that our social reality is understood by the symbols around us. And certainly we understand more about the culture of Thailand by looking at these giant symbols. They're not at every temple, but the temples in which they're found, it is a unique expression of Thailand's culture, family, and their background and history. Clifford Geertz says that culture is embodied in the symbols we see. And it is true that these great symbols stand for Thailand. Now, why did I decide to study these particular items? Because they're so unique in that they have the tusks, they are warriors, they embody the culture, they have warlike or militaristic attributes, and yet they go way back in history. They're not only Thailand's guardians, but also when we consider that this whole tradition came out of the Chinese culture. And there's a mixture of Hindu and Buddhism in the symbolic representation that we find in them. They are male and female. Sometimes they can be good and or bad. And what's really interesting is that these yak are on the journey themselves, looking for that moment where they reach that time of great empowerment, when they are endowed with the great enlightenment and they reach the pinnacle of understanding themselves and the world around them. A very unique expression of culture here in Thailand. I'm Dave Lucas, and we're going to continue the study.